Breakfast does not feature in my life most of the times. I am either on an intermittent fasting cycle where I am not eating for 16 hours and eating for 8 hours. I try to avoid maida and refined sugar as much as I can, unless it's a holiday or a cheat day or something. I've completely turned vegetarian now, and I intend to stick to it. Let's see how that goes. So to tone the body, honestly, the best thing to do is weight training, because that's what gives you the results in terms of appearance the fastest. My mom introduced me to yoga years back when I totally laughed it off and I said, please, it's too early to do all this and it's very boring and I can't do this.
Joining me today is a very, very special guest. We have Kritika Kamra, who we last saw on Amazon stand-up. Do you have a morning routine or a ritual that you swear by as soon as you wake up?
I have some water with lime in it, some lemon juice in it. That's something that I do. If I'm shooting, I'll have a coffee and I only take black coffee. But if I'm not, like these days, I'm really trying to avoid that. So I'm not doing that coffee in the morning.
For your breakfast, when you do have the time and luxury to have breakfast, are you one of those people who likes a consistent breakfast every day?
Breakfast does not feature in my life most of the times because so there are two things that I do. I am either on an intermittent fasting cycle where I am not eating for 16 hours and eating for 8 hours, which basically when I do that, I take a lot of liquids and everything. I break my fast with a bunch of with like a handful of nuts, and I straight have my lunch. So there's no breakfast. The other thing that I do is now luckily for me, I live with my brother who is a diet curator. I do keto with him. Not as consistently as him. For him, it's a lifestyle. But for me, I do it sometimes as in I do it for like a month or 2 months. I am not as disciplined as him, so I'm not able to sustain. But it's done me good. It's done him good. And I don't mean just like fat loss from a fat loss perspective. So sometimes I do that. And the other times I'm on intermittent fasting. So breakfast is not really... What I do though is that sometimes I end up having breakfast dishes for lunch. Or even dinner.
So what do your lunch and dinner comprise of, if you could tell us?
My lunch is very desi, very, very homely sort of lunch. It's usually like a sabzi, dal. I start with, like I said, a handful of nuts. I give it some time. Then I have my salad. Then again give it some time because I don't like to mix raw and cooked food. And then I have my roti dal sabzi, sort of a very classic Indian meal.
So do you snack in between meals or do you stick to that, meal program, just lunch, dinner?
When I'm fasting, honestly, I don't feel like snacking so much because I have my meal so late. And then I'll maybe have a coffee or go for a workout or something, and then it's already dinner time. I don't, but if I feel like, then I'll have a fruit. Maybe an apple or a guava these days, or some melon or something, a fruit, or like a little bit of makhana or khakra, or something. So I stock my kitchen with things that I know I can snack on guilt-free. I just don't keep things that I will reach out for and feel guilty later. I've just decided to just like keep those things away. So there's no, like, I try to avoid maida and refined sugar as much as I can, unless it's a holiday or a cheat day or something. I mean, sometimes it's okay, but basically there are a lot of other things like energy bars and nuts and all these, quinoa puffs and some healthy bhel, these kind of things.
So when you have to have a cheat meal, how often do you have a cheat meal and what does it usually comprise of?
I don't have a sweet tooth as such. I mean, I enjoy certain desserts, but I don't have a sweet tooth. I'm more like into like fried fast food kind of stuff. So on my cheat days, I go for those. So then I want fries, or I want like a deep fried bhatura, or a pizza loaded with cheese, or just things like that.
So what is one thing that you would never eat?
I've turned vegetarian. For the past, it's been more than a year. I was anyway predominantly vegetarian all my life. I was never a big meat eater. So I've completely turned vegetarian now. And I intend to stick to it. Let's see how that goes. But I've never been excited to try any exotic meat. like how people want to have an octopus and things like that. And I've been on holidays and people have been very excited to try exotic meat and these kind of things, but they've never tempted me. So I don't think I'm ever going to go down that road.
Coming to workouts, what is the one workout that you absolutely hate?
I am not into boxing and kickboxing. It's just something that I think I just don't have it in me. I just don't get in the groove. I just don't feel like hitting.
And what is one workout or exercise that you think has really helped shape you and sort of tone your body?
So to tone the body, honestly, the best thing to do is weight training, because that's what gives you the results in terms of appearance the fastest. There's no doubt about that. But if you consistently do any kind of good strength training, even without weights, it gives you that look and you change things kind of inside out. So I have a yoga routine that I do. So my mom introduced me to yoga years back when I totally laughed it off and I said, please, it's too early to do all this and it's very boring and I can't do this. But now there are so many great routines even online and so many things to follow, and I've started enjoying it now.
I want to know if you have like a signature dish that you can prepare now. If you have guests coming over, suddenly you're like, okay, I can whip this up. I know it'll taste good.
Two things that I impressed myself with were I made a vegetable stew the other day in coconut milk. So like a Kerala style vegetable stew with a lot of veggies. With how we have lemon rice, I replaced the rice with millet, tempered with some nice curry leaves and a lot of mustard and everything, and it turned out really good. So I'm quite impressed with myself. It also was very easy, and that's why the other thing I made recently and I again liked a lot myself was a spinach ricotta mushroom pasta.
Thank you so much for this. It was lovely speaking with you.
Same here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.